Tonight we're going to be talking about the tent city issue that we have down underneath the Bryant underpass. Over the past few weeks, we've had a lot of citizens come out and, especially on social media, and express their concerns with tent city, especially with it being down so close to Central High School. The current statistics right now is about 21 people, 3 to 4 of them being women, half of them being San Angelo originally. As of now, one true panhandler. The question is, what do we do next? This is a state-controlled TxDOT area, and right now our ordinances prevent camping in city parks. So the wording allows them to be in this area. Some people will say that it's unsightly and have the concern with it being right next to Central High School.
I'm the Director of Neighborhood and Family Services, and we are part of what we call the Texas Homeless Network. We share information, we share ideas, and ultimately we try to find solutions to some of the problems. The HUD definition says you're homeless if you live in a place that's not meant to be lived in, under a bridge, a car. What we find is that there's actually a lot of folks who are what we call couch surfing. They're going from house to house. They're going from relative to relative. That is the bulk of the homeless here in San Angelo. And it's a big number. We're talking about 500-600 families or more. That's all we can figure out. It also includes a lot of kids. The tent city, again, is we're talking about those folks are a smaller group, and they are chronically homeless. That is, they are homeless for a variety of reasons. They are alcoholics, they have drug problems, they have mental problems, schizophrenia, those kind of things. We also have situational homeless. Those are folks who have run into hard times, lost their job, lost their homes. Those are situational. Here in San Angelo, we have one shelter, and that's the Salvation Army. That's the place where we recommend that they go to get off the street. From there, they can seek case management. If they seek case management, they can stay there indefinitely, not have to live in tent city anymore. Unfortunately, a lot of those folks don't want to. In their world, they have some problems, and they necessarily want to get into that. So that's the problem we're facing.
But we have places that will do the ID for them within the day, as well as Social Security card, because for those who come to us, you have to have those two to obtain employment or to get case management with any agency. So we are holding them there, and while they begin that case management, they are with us. And then the word indefinitely means while they are going through a specified goal set orientated sheet. Last year, we were 32 people short of 10,000 different people coming through our shelter. Last year, 65,000 meals were served. We have 3 different buildings within which we can hold up to 900 different people. So you heard the number 21. I think we can hold the 21 within our shelter with no problem. No, we've never said the shelter is full.
How many do y'all usually have per night?
Anywhere from 100 to 200 a night on the average.
Do you turn people away?
No, we've not turned anyone away. Violence, guns, threatening the life of someone, it's not tolerated. We have a 0 drug and alcohol tolerance regarding that.
Once we looked at creating an ordinance and laws against panhandling, a little history on that. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, they tried to create laws against panhandlers. This was deemed illegal by federal court. Panhandling is considered a means of making money. It's economics for them.
There are First Amendment rights and other rights associated with panhandling. Regulations the cities have adopted, many of them are stricken. It can't be content related, like, well, you're asking for a donation or you're a panhandler, but this other person isn't. So we can't have an ordinance that is capable of that kind of enforcement, or it would be called not constitutional on its face. Some cities have looked at the traffic issues at various intersections, that these are in fact public safety issues. There are certain ways that we can address it as far as the panhandling goes.
We have wages that are actually being either stagnant or lowering, and then we have the cost of living that's going up. So folks are finding themselves homeless. In San Angelo, we are a generous, giving community, and folks out there, they want to take advantage of some resources.
My name's Amber McNew, and I recently moved here, and so I've watched it over the last year grow. And so my concern is that if it's state property, then how are we going to control? Like, if you can't remove them, then what are we supposed to do? Because my concern has been watching the kids, because normally the kids walk in packs, but it's whenever they're one-on-one that I watch them get hazed. So that's my question: is, as a community and as an officer, if you're restricted because you can't make them leave because it's state property, then what do we do? Who from the state do we get in here to take care of that?
Amber, we're going to start talking about Tent City, maybe moving it to a different location. And we looked at, okay, so if we relocate them, what is the benefit of doing that? Aside from removing them from what people would say is a very unsightly place underneath the bridge, really we still have the same situation.
Because like I said, I mean, I've watched them. It's about the safety of our kids, and now watch them. At lunchtime, I guarantee you, they ask them for their fries from McDonald's every day. But it's when they're by themselves that all of a sudden they're vulnerable. And it's not just girls, it's boys too. So that's my concern. It's how can we move it away from the school?
And your point, and I spent a lot of time down there in Tent City. In fact, I was there this morning. I can say this: I have interviewed probably at least 100 students that have walked across that river, and out of the 100 students that I interviewed, not one of them claimed to be bothered by anybody in Tent City.
Two of the ordinances we're looking at, one of them is to create an ordinance to forbid camping in public spaces, and that would address that part of it where they would have to be removed from that area. Now, in doing so, then the question becomes: do they have another location to go to? They do. They have the Salvation Army. They really do.
There are a few things that are really helpful and conducive to curing the taste for drink. There's a thing called kudzu. It's a homeopathic remedy. It's $2. It's not a great thing. It's a 3-year degree homeopathy. There are many new things. Some are homeopathic. Some are. There's a new vaccine for opioids, and they have a problem with the opioid epidemic in the Northeast. There's a new vaccine for that. I was reading in the Science Digester not 3 months ago. If you decide to do something inassuasive right about now, you're probably going to cut your own throat or shoot yourself in the foot, saying that you have a problem in hand when just around the corner here there's even a better solution.
That's one issue that with the drugs and alcohol dependence that we have. There's councils out there that can help out with that. It's just getting them in there is the problem.
I just want to make a comment. I teach. I have those students that go back and cross the bridge. They're going inside the tents. They are feeding them. They are feeling bad for them. So I know students are going in tents. I know students are having conversations with them.
Yeah, if you've seen what I've seen, you wouldn't want them in there. The homeless are made up of mostly drug addicts, alcoholics, and are mentally impaired people. A large number of them receive disability checks and use the money to buy their drugs and alcohol. The ones that live under the bridge pose a danger to our citizens, and I believe we need to be protected from them. I know for a fact that the high school students from Central High have to step over these drunks and addicts just to walk across Bronx to get a hamburger for lunch. There are syringes and other dangerous paraphernalia in that tent city. As a citizen, I do my part in reporting everything to the authorities. Just last week, I personally witnessed a homeless man urinating in public under the bridge just as the school bus was dropping off the children. During the day, this population of drug and alcohol-addicted people troll the streets with their backpacks, casing my neighborhood. I personally witnessed break-ins and report them. As my friend articulated so well, all the money and resources in the world only feed their addictions. There is nothing you can do to help them. All the stats for recovery are dismal at best, and there is current data that supports a theory that this is a choice and not a disease to abuse substances. I propose that we don't move them into our neighborhoods. Who wants people like that in your neighborhood that are going to break in, do drugs, paraphernalia? I've seen all this personally. I've witnessed it, and the problem, it is getting bigger.
My name is Reginald Thornton. I am one of the homeless people that lives in Tent City, and I think we only have one panhandler that lives in Tent City. And we already told them we do not allow panhandlers to be there. But we, as a community down there, we can't force them to move out. So we just deal with it. Frank Carter's seen it. We talk to them about it. Me personally, the only reason why I'm down there is because where I was staying, Child Protective Service got involved. I left for about a week where I was staying. They moved people in, so there's no more room for me. I do have family here, but my mom and I don't get along when we're under one roof. But with the rent being so high here in San Angelo, I can't afford it. I get 2 checks a month, $753 a month. I can't afford rent. I can't pay the bills with that. But my only choice is to be in Tent City. I'm a kind-hearted person. I don't get involved with Central High School students. We see them walk by. We stay on our side. We as the homeless community down there, we already had, there's like 6 of us that got TDW off of McDonald's property. We can't even go there. That's where we eat most of the time. What are we supposed to do, But yeah, I've been staying down there with friends that like to fish down there. Now, we had a couple students come up and offer us money. I had a student offer me money. I looked at the student and I said, no. Me, I don't want to entwine with Central High School students because it makes us, as homeless people, look bad, Intervening with high school students. We don't want conflict with the school or the students, but I avoid that. But please consider at least helping us find a place. I want to get off the streets. There's several churches that have been down there that talk to the housing people. I saw give my birth certificate and my ID. That church has not been down there to talk to me or in one other person. So what am I supposed to do now? I can't go back to Salvation Army. I was accused of doing drugs in here. I'm like, yeah, I am a recovering addict. I've been 6 months clean. I stay away from the drugs. I'm tired of that life. I'm trying to change. Oh, no, I have no choice. I have nowhere else to go.
I'm shaking because of some of the things that were said. When I was a little girl and playing house, I never said, I want to be a drug addict. I want to be an alcoholic. I want to be homeless. I was homeless in Fort Worth. I was a sofa surfer, somebody said, due to a divorce. And I didn't have a job. And it came suddenly. But God took care of me, and I'm here. Somebody just said earlier, really bothered me. Who wants them in their neighborhood? Well, one day, a few years ago, I was at Walmart. I saw a man that was all scruffy, and he was trying to do something on a computer. I didn't know that you can apply for a job there online. And I just talked to him, and he said he was getting his life in order, and that he had done a lot of things. Didn't tell me what. I felt, he didn't ask, I felt like God was telling me to give him some money. And I'm the cheapest person out there, but I also have the biggest heart, and I will give. So I felt like I was supposed to give him $20. So I did. I told him about Celebrate Recovery, which I'm a part of. I helped minister to people there for the last 10 years. Told him if he needed a ride, he could call this number. That was it. Didn't ever see him. Broke my heart. I moved on. Over a year ago, this man came up to me at Celebrate Recovery. We're having dinner, and he said, do you remember me? I was like, oh, no, I don't. But he told me his name. That man, he had been arrested so many times. He has a rap sheet really long. He lost his kids so many times. And today, he's not in trouble. He has all of his kids. So to me, it's about helping when I can, not saying who wants them.
I am a newcomer to San Angelo. I moved here last year to attend ASU. I'm a social work student. And I have been amazed as I've been sitting in my social work classes, hearing about all the different resources that are out there. And it's funny that somebody stood up and said, oh, not in my neighborhood, because we just talked about that mentality of not in my neighborhood. Well, whose neighborhood is it going to be? And not all these people are criminals. There are families out there. There are little kids out there living on the street. Texas is one of the worst as far as mental health is concerned. We've got to do something about it. And turning a blind eye and saying not in my neighborhood is not the answer.
You have shelter-resistant people who are living under that bridge, right? They're there because at one point they've been kicked out and they can't return. I wish I had another $250,000, $300,000 to give to the Salvation Army to expand their services. They provide great services, all right, but there are people out there who are mentally ill. They're mentally challenged. They're physically challenged. They are shelter resistant. They're not going to go to the Salvation Army regardless of what you do, what you say, or what you promise.
What I'm hearing is, a lot of tent city people are shelter resistant, and I think a lot of that has to do with dignity. That it's very difficult for someone who is down and out at this time or any time in their lives to face others who they deem to be looking down upon them.